Yeah, we start, and Howard Easter, my foreman's gonna start coming to at least every other one, if not all of them, hopefully all of them eventually here. I want to start with that before we go into it. He's doing a great job. In fact, he had a breakdown yesterday, was it yesterday, the day before, and asked me to do something yesterday. Usually he doesn't do that. I ask him what he wants, and he won't let me do anything, so it's a good thing for me, but yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. Things are going good, and then we'll get into that, into some new business. I'll let him share with some stuff here down in new business. Old business is pretty much about the same. The east gate that we talked about, that we redone, that Mike Lewis has helped with, is up and running. The gate has the opener on it now, everything's running. NIPSCO's been there. I don't know if the last thing was Mike, but he has installed a camera currently on that, which is also has one on the gate, so I will know who comes in and out of the gate, and I have access to that, so that is done. Tom Kinch property, I have heard nothing yet. I'm going to probably this month get a hold of the surveyor and see if he's had a chance to start it. Tom has been in, especially after you and I talked. He came and visited me a little bit.
Good.
And I joked, I said, "You having fun?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Hearing all the rumors and stuff." And he's taking it well. I said,
Good.
"Bub, that's all rumors." I said, "Reality is when you and I get together."
Yeah.
And so he's doing really well. In that, I do have a foreman that decided to go nuts on his property and clean it up, and Tom loved it. He opened it all up on Lakeside. It looks great. Well, we clean over there so far, and once you get to know Howard, he's like, "No, we're going to do this too." And
It looks really good.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Now, with that, he holds the record for getting the tool cat stuck the most. Record on that.
I wasn't there when he got it stuck, so that was good timing on my
No,
part.
and to understand, even at my age, and we call him Howie, so it's hard for me to call him Howard. How he learned that, that mistakes still happen, and he found out when a winch only pulls so much, it breaks. But we're all good. So we're actually doing a lot over there, and it looks good. While we're on that, just a little bit, at Brandon Cordell, which is Stormwater Coordinator, I have to get his title right.
MS4.
MS4, there you go, figure that one out. Okay, but anyway, called me and wanted to meet with me. I thought it was over when he does surveying stuff at the cemetery or stuff we have to do. Actually, he just learned about the Tom Kinch property and wants to get involved in that. And I was all about it, so we had a nice conversation. He believes the pipe that goes underneath from that pond, that it needs to be redirected. Because that's the biggest problem with Pike Lake, is that pond, putting a lot of stuff in from the stormwater coming down. They've had a lot, I guess, of research. And so he was so excited. He goes, "How, we need to dredge it, we need to do this." I know. I'm like, "Okay, who's paying for it?" "Oh, we can do it out of our money, whatever." I'm like, "Okay." So he's aboard. I said, "Just chill, let me get it purchased first. Once we get all agreement." And I said, he didn't know what I was doing with it. And so you guys understand, really, I started this wanting the little woods. And then talking to a few people is, why not doing this, getting all of it, all but the house. And I thought that's pretty good. One, to help Tom out. Two, it would give the city control of that area for whatever. Development, no. Sheridan Street could be, if they wanted to. I instinctively talked to Larry a little bit. If he wanted to extend his campground and have some lakefront, he could. Just thinking of stuff. But the whole idea was to get a hold of Nate Bosch and Brandon and say, "Hey, go at it. What do you need to do?" And I think it excited them a little bit, because they want to clean that lake up, and they think this will be a big one. I've talked to Nate also. So anyway, there's a lot of things going on in the work, but it all comes down to purchasing the land. Now with that, which I was going to talk to the mayor and find out financially if I have to take it out of perm, whatever. Brandon thinks he can also help with that with his budget. So we'll enter that once we get a fair price, market value of what it's worth to do that. So I just want to say that was kind of a nice thing that he wanted to come and talk about that, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to turn it over as a cemetery, except for making that pond a sanctuary pond with a walkway, and that little part over there is all I really want to do. But there's just a lot of tools and stuff that's there that we can make it happen probably pretty cheap. So I do know that pond needs to be dredged too, so that's kind of cool if they can get that done. And he said he'd like it, make it a stocking pond again, so where it's clean and, so it's not polluting Pike Lake. So he's already over that, so I just wanted to throw that in also. Fence behind the office is still there. Sorry, Chuck hasn't had time to come get that done yet for me. So hopefully he'll be doing that shortly. Just wanted to leave that in there. It's not hurting anything, we're fine. It's behind the preacher stand. We currently, so you understand, we are getting a lot of activity in the preacher stand, but nothing bad. Just a lot of visitors hanging out and their kids, some older, some younger, and so far, how are you? Not tore up too bad.
No.
Not at all, I don't think. I haven't seen a lot. I
No.
was back there today. So it doesn't look like they're vandalizing anything. They're just hanging out and they're hitting the trash can pretty much. So that's what excites me. I don't feel clean up the trash. So cool. In the new business, Howie's a big part of this. First one is the giveaway. In our first year, we took a little beating on the chin, I would say, in our first garden, but we did okay. We gave Salvation Army 125 pounds of food. I didn't think it was bad. We had a little bit of struggle, so we're going to work on changing that next year. And Howie was a big part. Anything else on that, Howie? Or?
No, just we learned a lot from it, with it being our first year, things that we need to do to improve it and make a better production out of it. And, learning from it will be our biggest thing. We
may go into some solar electric fence. Big problem was we had a ton of green beans and came back that Monday and they were all gone. They were eaten down and it never grew anymore back. So we weren't able to give green beans to them, but it's part of the nature part that we have there. But I think overall it went pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty much was all us. I don't think anybody came out to piddle with it, which will open up next year if they want to. They have it all torn down. It's ready to be fertilized. It's been turned. So it's all ready for the winter, and then we'll start at it again next year. Number 2, you see there, we have a new hire. Just to be quite honest with you, had to let one go. Didn't work out, and we decided to hire this gentleman. I was telling him he was the wrong age. I said he was 19. He told me to correct me today. He's 20. Okay, so for the board to understand is, I've been blessed with a lot of good crews throughout my whole career, and we still have what I believe is a phenomenal crew right now. And I think Howie can, with what we're doing. So I have 5 out of the 6 guys that are pretty much right there. I mean, can do everything, whatever. I can walk away, no big deal. So when we had this unfortunate turn, I decided I had this gentleman's application and knew he was young, has 0 experience. And I went to the crew, went to Howie first, and because he was going to be on this interview. But the crew came together afterwards and agreed, how about we bring in a young one and train? And my whole crew is up and willing to do that. And he started Monday, and he's poured concrete and everything. Howie had him teaching him how to finish. He's a big wind's going to blow him over, and he's running a wheelbarrow with concrete in it. The kid, I won't call him a kid. I'm sorry, everybody's a kid to me. The man wants to learn.
Mm-hmm.
He really does. And all these guys, I said, if he fails, pick him up, brush him up, teach him again. And I don't have to worry about that because these 5 guys will do that. So we're just bringing a younger guy in, and we'll see what his career. He wants to. He told me he wants a career he can retire in. We'll see if that changes in about 10 years.
At 20 years old, he's looking forward to retirement.
Go, what? Yeah, I don't know. But we're kind of excited to have him. So it's Vince Warner. I think he's going to work out, but we'll see. 3 there is, it's not the new walk, it's the new wall. Mike Bradford will be starting the 13th of this month. Section 17. It's a section that is just absolutely terrible. Slants, tilts, whatever. We're going to have the wall bring in dirt, make it level so we can keep it nice and clean. Instead of it looking like it does. It's just a hard area to work. I'm going to say to mow, to weed whack, to whatever. It's just terrible. So it goes along with all the walls back there. It's just a section that really needs it. And it's one side's higher than the other, and we're going to just kind of bring it up so we can make it look right and look nice back there.
Kind of level it.
Yeah, pretty much. We're trying to keep the old walkway that's in there on the high side. It kind of goes, it dies into the road, so the other upper parts will be open. It'll be like a U-shaped wall coming around. But if you looked at it from the front, this side, I'm gonna say is probably 2 foot higher than the other, maybe a little bit more. This is eyesight, so we're gonna try to level it out, bring in dirt and reset the stones and make it look nice. So, like I say, Mike will be starting the 13th on that one. Number 4, stop me if there's any questions. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of going through this one. The asphalt was on the Lake Road. They just finished. Basically, how do I get you there? If you're out in the first north-south road, which is George, and you're heading back to the lake, okay, now you want to go into the Lake Road. Right there, we widen that road. I cannot talk to that. We widen the road, okay, and put tailings in there. So I wanted that paved. Well, Dustin came out with his crew, and some of the old part they overlaid, which is okay, but until you start plowing, because then you start catching that and peeling it. So they ground it all down, and they took it all the way down to the wall, the end of the wall where we had patched. And then the section, if you're looking to be the section east, in between, it's a crossroad there, was like this. And we fixed that, and so now it's all level and cleaned up, and we widened the curve that's going around. There's a big curve. We widened it because of all the water coming down and cleaning. So we have a little fixing to do. It looks really nice. So I don't know how many feet, but I think we had maybe 6,000 in that in asphalt. That was just pure asphalt. The street department did it for us. Next one, we just yesterday poured 32 foundations, 5.5 yards. The boys got up early. We started pouring at 6:30 yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So they did very
It's a
well.
good week.
That is the end of the 4th pour. I'm sorry, I don't have a total. I don't know how many's on the 5th right now currently. If we'll get another pour in this year, we'll have to see. One reason is we may have to pour, if we pour a short pour, we're gonna eat a minimum fee. Because there's no way we're gonna get enough to meet minimum, I don't think this time of year. But there's not very many on there. But we'll try to work it out and get them poured. And hey, Howie, I know you don't have any in front of you, but 6 is the staff continues to prepare for equipment for leaf season in fall. Can we talk about that a little bit for me?
Leaf season is a big part of our fall cleanup, but everybody knows how many trees is in that cemetery, and it gets covered pretty quick. So the equipment that we have to make sure is in good working conditions. And, you know, it doesn't get used up until this time, so setting's hard on them. We check through all that, make sure everything's ready to go. Then with the new gentleman starting, well, there's 2 gentlemen that this is their first year of doing it, so going through it with them, getting them prepared for it, it's just part of our leaf cleanup, which is most of our work during the fall. That takes most of our time. So.
Yep, on top of that is, if anybody needs nuts, come on out.
Oh, yeah.
We will take dump trucks of nuts, and that right now the acorns are and just
And
huge.
walnuts as well.
Yeah, and walnuts, and they're all just starting to fall, and it's something we have to work in between leaf season or with leaf season and do, and it's just to keep that place looking nice. So anybody needs any walnuts, yeah, acorns, you need to decorate for Halloween or whatever, come on over. You can have all you want for free. Pretty much with that, the only thing I have before we get to just to comment that we're working on the cemetery walk, I guess I said that's enough. I wrote down, we talked about it last one, I know there's been a couple of emails, is just the use of the chapel. I just wanted to spark that back in your mind. I've not had time to sit with the mayor yet and ask him about that. But if you could think about it, like you sent me some ideas, if you guys have some ideas, send that. I'd like to put that together before I approach with him to see if that's something he wants to do. I think it's a great way to create some revenue. I don't want to get into what Larry does that deep, but I mean, for small gatherings, stuff like that, I think it would, in my opinion, would be a good facility. I don't want to cater 200 people, stuff like that. The facility doesn't really set up for that, but, you know, meetings of any kind or something like that, I think that would be okay. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, if it's an evening where I have to walk up or something, or a Saturday or Sunday, I would probably stay away from Saturdays just because of funerals. So it'd be like evenings and Sunday, or you could do Saturday late, I guess, but I don't wanna have to cancel something if we have a funeral that needs the chapel on a Saturday, you know, if it rained or whatever. But that's just my opinion, anything can happen here. So just suggestions, if you guys have some, please. And like I say, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'd like to approach it again, just with rising costs of everything and our budget going up, and if there's a way we can help cut that deficit, I think it'd be good to do. I mean, Jerry can tell you more about that than I can. I mean, I'm sure, maybe not yet, maybe he doesn't know all the numbers yet, but I know that the mayor's after laying 2 cuts already, so I know there's some cutting that has to be done, so. But it's always to be a good steward of the taxpayers' money. So if we can, if it outweighs where they don't wanna do liability and stuff, I understand, but we'll get Scott Roost and everybody involved if that's the case, and make sure, I'll get with Larry and see what kind of insurance he carries, and we'll make sure it's all right, and then look at the money and then make a decision if that's something, if he gives us the okay to look into it more, and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to throw that, keep that in your mind, I didn't write it down. So I had 2 phone calls, so you renting it out? No, not yet. Okay, no, not yet. They read your article and you don't put that in, but they automatically think that we're just starting to check into it.
What kind of people were asking about renting it out?
Just, I had a couple emails, phone calls, wanted to know pricing, stuff like that, and I'm like, we're still at the baby stage.
Yeah.
You know, we're just, my boss hasn't said it's okay yet. You know, there's protocol to go through. But I guess I'm throwing it out a little early, but to me, I don't want to go to Jeff and say, hey, can I rent it out?
Yeah.
Without a plan.
Yeah.
Okay? If we have a plan, then I can say, hey, here's kind of what we want to do, how do you want to approach this? So, I mean, I know we're being a little more public with it, and that's fine, because then if we can do it, the public's gonna know. But right now, no, we're not renting it out. It's for funerals, it's for committal services, that's all it's for, and veteran stuff we use it for, that's it currently. So, and none of that's charged, we do not charge, I think you know that, our committal services, we do not charge. That's free use for the funeral homes to use, if the weather's not, well, good enough to be out. So it's just something to look at. It's a beautiful facility, sitting there just doing nothing. So I would like to look into it. So if you can, before next meeting, if you have some comments about it, shoot me off an email, suggestion, and I don't care how weird or whack, whatever, just get it to me so I can compile some stuff and go in, because I mean, without your support, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I want to have your support, your guys' ideas to go into it. Yeah, I know. This one scares me, I'm not kidding. She's been in the cemetery way too long. She used to lock the gate, that was creepy enough, so.
Listen.
Well, you know you had to deal with the creepy people. Yeah.
I think too, if there's any staff input too, I mean,
Sure.
Good
yeah,
point.
I mean, because it's gonna affect you guys too.
So,
Yeah,
I
clean
talked,
maintenance, yep.
yeah, I talked briefly to Leanne, I said, just tell me, what do you think? But it wouldn't hurt to talk to all of them and just say, what are some things that you would see?
Yeah,
Because it's gonna affect you guys too.
Yeah,
For sure.
And we have discussed it amongst all the
Yeah, good,
employees.
good.
I don't, the hardest part about my job, and I have to sit there and go, what's public?
Yeah.
But my crew knows pretty much, I don't hide anything.
Yeah.
They know cost of stuff, they know when we break something, how much, and not in a mean way, just so they understand what they're dealing with. Vincent, and he's not there yet, when he gets ready, or how he gets ready to start training him on the track hoe, if he doesn't, I will. That's a $111,000 hoe, you're gonna grab dirt and throw it in a $60,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you're gonna be going over anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 stones. You get that in their mind, most good employees, it sticks with them, and say, well, I gotta be careful.
Yeah,
If it doesn't stick with them, I don't need it.
yeah,
Because it's a lot, then you get into, which Howie will do is, which will be hard with this young kid, if he's in that hoe, and I'm standing out there helping him with a funeral, I'm not in charge, he is, because he's in that hoe. That's how serious we take that stuff. Obviously, we train it how, so I don't hide. They know everything goes on. We break it, which in turn, when things do break, they're not afraid to come to us. Okay, it happens. It's a business, accidents do happen. I mean, now if the same guy breaks the same thing 3 times, we're gonna have a different talk. What I'm just saying is, I don't like to come back and have something broken. So everybody will just say, hey, how this happened, we take care of the problem, move on. And so just so you know, that open communication, but that's a very good idea. And we've already talked about
You
something.
guys have probably already talked about it.
Yes.
How it potentially could affect you.
Sure.
And that's critical to, I did talk to the cemetery when I went back home. The only thing I really gleaned from them was they really don't have profit-making businesses using, other than funeral homes. But beyond that, like if someone wanted to come and do I don't want to say a company, but if somebody is like a money-making venture, they don't do that. They pretty much keep it to nonprofits. So that's something to think about. That was the
Something
only thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about
I
it.
didn't really think about that either, but they said there was a little bit of a rub with the government that way, and that may be an Iowa thing too, so I don't know, but that's something we want to think about. And then-
Well, if it continues on, one that'll be a big help to us will be Scott.
Yeah,
The rules and
he'll know
regs.
right away,
Yeah.
yeah,
And one big conversation I will have is with Larry, because they do rent out that pavilion.
yeah.
You know, he's been through a lot through that over 40 years of his career, so, I mean, that'd be a good one to lean on too. So I will, like I say, this is just talking stage. Everybody
I mean, the
involved.
only other thing I've added is I've done the Eagle Board reviews there for the Boy Scouts. You've helped me with that. But I think keeping it basically to nonprofits is probably a good idea, but he can enlighten us more on that too.
Yeah.
There may be a reason why you don't do the other, from a legal, I don't know, but we can figure, he'll
Well,
definitely tell us what we do.
and being, like I say, my mind doesn't shut down, we have to look at it just a little bit different than the park.
Yeah,
Because we're on, I'm just gonna say it, holy ground.
Yeah, we're on sacred
There's-
ground,
yeah,
yes.
There's sacred
Yeah.
ground and stuff that we deal with that may not look good to do.
Yeah,
Follow
yeah.
me, where that's a public, we're public, but more open spot, not kind of situation we're in. So we'll look at all those avenues, I think, before we do it. And it's not hate to say the word get rich thing, it's just to supplement the little income, and that's such a beautiful building to use.
is very nice.
If it's feasible.
yeah,
So, one thing, definitely know, we don't rent it out for funerals, because that takes away from our funeral homes.
yeah,
Won't do that.
yeah.
It's just the committal service. Because we do have a lot of calls on that, especially out of town, and they get upset, but I tell them there's churches all over Warsaw. Have them do it there, pay them to do it, not us, so I don't compete with the 3 funeral homes there. That's something we don't want to do. Other than that, I really don't have anything else. Financial, if you look, we really are on pace. If you look to last year, you gotta remember to take out that big land purchase, okay, because that isn't gonna happen every year. Total wise, this year, this month, full bodies was up quite a bit, which in the year total, we're still almost 50%, we're 48 currently, so it's about half and half right now. I would guess we'll end up with a year with more cremains than full bodies, but that's just my guess. So money-wise, you can look at the very last, if you look at the totals, so far we've brought in $186,031.26, so we've put $32,730 in perm of that money. So other than that, I don't see any oddities as far as that goes, but I did look, and I'm sorry before we close, because we wanted to, yes, the males did tear up the females this month. There was 13 females and only 5 males, sorry. And by the way, August 13 and 9, so you ladies, be careful, that's just not, it's on a trend, be careful, right now it's not the males.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, never know.
Okay,
I am done.
anything else we need to, I think we're,
I don't think so, dear.
Don's too quiet.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering from my
Yeah.
vacation.
Was she a teenager? No,
15.
15-year-old. To Peru,
Peru, South America.
South America.
Not Peru, Indiana.
Not Peru, Indiana.
yeah, not Peru, Indiana.
Took her overseas. The good uncle he is. She
Oh,
wanted to go-
man.
2 weeks. Well, ostensibly it was to work on her Spanish.
Oh,
But,
We did a lot of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
good.
We were,
Well,
we did not stop.
Yeah.
2
Probably
weeks.
good for her, not as much for you.
I'm bragging now. And luckily I had a neighbor, because we unexpectedly had our sidewalks put in.
Yeah,
I was able to get my car, and he's texting me, and he's like, they're tearing up the sidewalks tomorrow, and I was like, what?
what happened, it was a grant, or
I thought they were back
through
there.
the, yeah, which was, they did a wonderful, the crew did it in a week and a half. I mean, they went from Sheridan all the way down one side and up the other, and everything was done except, they weren't going to the house. And I wanted mine done, and Don did too. Oh, well, he's going on vacation, so they're hitting.
My car's in the garage, how am I gonna get my car out
Yeah,
of it?
well, so the guy that's run the crew, really good guy, what we did too, so the board understands too, when I first met, his name was Timothy, he was like second in command. He had dirt in their truck and he's hauling it, I said, where are you hauling that? He goes, oh, out to some farm, they were hauling the concrete with the dirt. And I said, well, where's your stone compaction at? Well, over at the street department. I said, get in my truck. So I took him to the back 40, I said, we recondition dirt. You can dump your stone there, you're right down the driveway. So we hit it off pretty good. We saved the owner some money, which is totally fine. So I asked him, I said, I want mine done, and my neighbor wants his done, would you look at it, give us a price? And they really gave us a decent price to do it, which is nice. And they did a couple others. But, I mean, 30 years I've gone from this little 2-foot sidewalk, and now it's 3 foot. And egret, all this, yeah, and they reshaped my land, and they're getting ready to come in, and they'll put dirt and resod it, and all that, reseed it, whatever. So they did a great job, yeah. So, well, that Don called me one evening, he goes, can you get my car out? And the guy, Timothy, I told Timothy, I said, well, he's on vacation. Then he goes, I told him, he goes, what are you doing? So he moved the car. He goes, I thought he was on vacation. I said, he went away. I thought his car was at like a airport too.
Yeah.
It was in his garage. So I had to put it around back so he could use it when he came back, because we're well
I am
off.
so lucky I have a great neighbor.
So, yeah, he trusts me to go in his house and get a spare key. So.
Oh, if I can't trust you, who can I trust?
So next meeting is
November the 6th.
November, wow.
Sixth, yeah.
Isn't
Okay.
that crazy?
The Veterans Day program will be on November 11th,
Okay.
yeah. I think it starts at 10:30. And then Wreaths Across America will be really abbreviated this year, but it'll be on December 13th.
Wreaths Across America, I thought it was on hold, no?
But all that's happening is the wreaths are only going to the circles again, like we
Okay.
did last year. That's on
December what, was that? I'm sorry.
13th, yep. Just the same as we did last year.
Gotcha.
Yep, we got that finally figured out. That took a while. All right.
They'll go where?
They'll go to the Legion circles, we're gonna do one at the Civil War circle. too.
Also,
Yeah,
perfect,
yeah.
perfect, perfect.
So, all right, anything else? Okay,
Okay.
Anything? You all good?
no, okay,
Cool.
Move adjourned?
yeah,
Second?
all right. Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.
Cool beans.
See you next month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good to see you.
If the boss will
Keep
allow
him
it.
in line.
That's why I try and live next door, you can help me with that.
I try him at home, but it's hard.